Kathy and I'll start out by just saying that we serve on this age-friendly task group for the county, Montgomery County. It's not limited to Montgomery County. This is something sponsored by the, WHO, World Health Organization. So it's all over the place, but Montgomery County is maybe the only or one of the few that actually has workforce development as part of its aim. There are many other elements on it, which we'll go through on the slides, but that's the main one. And so Kathy and I have done this for a little while. Kathy's intimately, knowledgeable about this because she actually is working for the Jewish Council of the Aging, whereas WorkSource Montgomery, that's just one of the populations we serve out of many. We're required to serve all populations, but we have some with special emphasis. Now, it's funny because Montgomery County has this tagline, a community for a lifetime. So we're constantly talking about, well, we can't just forget the 50 plus in that community for a lifetime. And what is it that the county is actually offering this group of individuals? Because more and more, especially with inflation and prices of things in general, and just the cost of living in this area and DC as well, it takes a lot to survive here. And a lot of times you find the jobs that are offered are, just a glorified volunteer kind of job. People who tend to be professionals have a much easier time of it moving into a job after a job loss in later years, but someone who has been out of work for a little while has a really tough time getting back into it. And they tend to then settle for a job much less than the job they were previously, the salary they were previously making. And that's a bitter pill to swallow. And so we're really trying to work to change that and change the, the connotations that come up when we talk about an older worker. Next slide. So this again is the World Health Organization, and AARP is a big backer for this. And we actually have 2 members from AARP sitting on our task force. And wasn't David Gamsey, you all might recognize that name, but wasn't he part of AARP, Kathy?
Yeah, before he came to JCA.
Yeah, so he's very well connected in that area and has gone on to do even more things, which is he's very active as an over 50. Next slide. These are the reasons why Montgomery County became involved in this. And then we also reach out to similar organizations in DC and kind of share information. And that was originally how we kind of connected through a colleague of mine who was at Silver Spring Chamber, at Gaithersburg, Germantown chamber event, and met Milry. And I was a nice connection because we had talked about in our task force reaching out to 40 plus. So glad that connection happened. You can see on the screen, our county, interestingly enough, and you might not realize this because it's even more diverse than DC, but we are on the top 10 out of the whole United States. We have 4 or 5 cities.
We're the top 4 of mid-sized cities
in the whole United States for diversity.
Gaithersburg and Germantown are more diverse than New York City.
And imagine how many languages that entails, which is a constant need of all of the resources in the county to keep up with that. Think of the school system, et cetera, et cetera.